Hello my dear students of class 8. Today in this class I will discuss the questions of this text, glimpses of the past, and I will read and explain the last two passages that are there in the page 49. Very interesting two stories. So first I will discuss the questions. Look at the picture 1 and recall the opening lines of the original song in Hindi. Who is the singer? Who else do you see in this picture? So very easy question. You can easily answer to this question. Just after looking at the picture 1, you can recall the opening lines of the original song. I have already discussed when I was teaching the first picture. Right? In the picture 2, what do you understand by the company's superior weapons? Superior, right? Means they were kind of advanced, developed weapons. What do you understand by them? Like cannon, guns, other weapons. Who is an artisan? And what do you think the artisan suffered? Who's an artisan? From artisans, Indian artisans. And why do you think the artisans suffered? Because of that prosperity of British East India Company and their industry, the artisans of India, they suffered. Which picture, according to you, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt? That you have to explain, right? Which picture, according to you, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt? First sparks of the fire of revolt, that war. Then, working with the text, do you think the Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach to the events of 1757? Short-sighted means they cannot see what is going to happen in future. Opposite is far-sighted, right? So that's why they thought something else and something else happened. How did the East India Company subdue the Indian princes? How did they dominate the Indian princes? Quote the words used by Ram Mohan Roy to say that every religion teaches the same principle. You have to quote the line. And how did East India Company subdue? With the help of the natives, they started to dominate, defeat, right? In what ways did British officers exploit Indians? In what way they were exploiting, they were using Indians? Name these people, the ruler who fought the pitched battles against the British and died fighting, the person who wanted to reform the society, Ram Mohan Roy, the person who recommended the introduction of English education in India, Macaulay, two popular leaders who led the revolt that I said yesterday, two examples of social practices revealing then, to social practice, not to cross the sea, and the women were they were the reason behind the not development of the society or then of society, and also they were kind of all misery in the world is due to women, right? And then two oppressive policies of the British. They were taking the land, snatching the land. They were taking taxes. Two ways in which common people suffered. 4 reasons. Very easy answer. 4 reasons for the discontent that led to 1857 War of Independence. Now, so up to 4 reasons. These are already explained in the last part of the text. Now, working with the language in comics, what the characters speak in is put in bubbles. This is the direct narration. When we report that the characters speak, we use the method indirect narration. First farmer, why are 4 men taking away the entire crop. Second farmer, your men have taken away everything. So narration actually. The first man asked the officer why his men were taking away the entire crop. So the only narration change. Very easy, you can do that. So here you have to change the narration. First man, we must educate our brothers. First man said that they must educate their brothers. Second man, so educate their brothers, we, so, and second man try to improve their material conditions. Second man said there, added that they must try to improve their material conditions. So very easy, you can do that. I have already described in the last class the narration change. If in doubt, I will clarify. So till now, any doubt, any problem, I will tell the answer. I am already explaining the questions. Then look at the pictures. Fox accidentally falls into a well. Accidentally falls into a well. How do I get out of here? He was thinking. Hello, is the water sweet? Is the water sweet? One was asking. So one goat was asking, too sweet. I have so much I might faint. Then the fox replied, very sweet, and I drank so much that I will faint. Let me taste it. Thanks for the help. Come out of when you can. And my mother used to say, hey, be careful how you take the advice of people you don't know. So you must be careful when you are listening to others. What to do, what not to do. Where is the fox? What is the fox thinking? What does he want to know? Then what happens next? Where is the fox now? How did it happen? Who is the visitor? What is the fox's reply? And where is the goat? What is the goat thinking? So write a story in your own words, give a title also. History becomes fun at this school. So when you study history in school, does it become fun or not? But in one school, history becomes fun. How? Mumbai. So one report. Students in the 6th grade, certain school in Navi Mumbai, love their history lessons thanks to the novel teaching aid. So novel teaching aid. Okay. So for the teaching aids, the history becomes fun. It is not surprising given the fact that their study material includes comic books. They have comic books as study materials, and they use their textbooks for reference to put things into perspective, to put things in point of view. Besides, students are encouraged to tap other sources of information as well. They are encouraged to gather, to collect information from other sources. During history classes, students pore over comic strips of historical periods. They just read out the comic pieces of historical periods, enact characters of emperors and tyrants. They also act, right? Like emperors, tyrants, and have animated discussions on the subject. They have kind of very lively discussions on the subject. History has become a fun for them. In the class, students are asked to read the comic strips aloud. They just asked to read out the comics. After which they break up into groups of 4, discusses what they have heard and write a summary. And then the teacher makes groups, and then also they are asked to read, and also they are asked to write the summary. Each group leader reads his group summary aloud, and the whole class jumps into discussion and debate. Then each group leader just reads out the summary, and then that follows by what? Debate, discussion, right? Adding points, disagreeing, and qualifying points of view. A 6th grade student says, 6th class student says, it's a lot of fun because everyone gets a chance to express themselves, and the summary takes everyone's ideas into account. Very much fun. According to the school principal and comic strips format, visual appeal to students. That is kind of visual appeal. The principal says that gives a visual appeal. A historian feels that using comics in school is a great idea. In this format of comics, very great idea. Comics and teaching help students understand that what characters in the story are actually thinking. That helps to understand what the characters are actually thinking. This is adapted from the Times of India newspaper, New Delhi, October 2007. Based on this new news item, write a paragraph on what you think about this new method of teaching history. You have to write. Right? So you have to write. Find the chapters in your history book that corresponded to the episodes and events described in these comics. Note how the information contained in a few chapters history has been condensed to few pages with the help of pictures and speech bubbles. So you have to find out the chapters in a history book that correspond to the episode. Now create a comic of your own way using this story. So story, very very good story. We had the story in our class. Once the sun and wind began to quarrel, so sun and wind, each one saying that he was stronger than the other. So sun was saying that I am the strongest person, and wind was saying no, I am the strongest. At last they decided to test each other's strength. They said, okay, let's just give the test. A man with a cloak means kind of dress around his shoulder was passing by. The wind boasted, was proud and boastfully said, using my strength I can make that man take up the cloak. The wind said, I can easily force the man to take up the cloak. The sun agreed. The sun said, yes, fine. The wind blew hard. The man felt so cold that he clasped his cloak around his body as tightly as possible. So he tightened his cloak. So the wind failed to force to open that cloak from the man's body. Now it was the turn of the sun, which shone very hot indeed. Then the turn of the sun, and it gave scorching it. The man felt so hot that he at once removed the cloak from his body. Just remove the cloak from his body. Seeing the man taking up the cloak, the wind considered defeat. So now the wind was defeated. So sometimes you have to think from others' points of view. Okay, you have to think a different way. All the time, just you're putting force. You cannot you cannot defeat others by putting force. By intelligence, you can defeat others. So you have to create a comic by using this story. That's all. Thank you.